Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Escaping warlocks cost Rhys a Trinity memory. Ash warned of a ritual. Vincent was captured. A letter hinted at time manipulation. Rhys relived trauma from his journal. Juniper saved him from identity erasure. Ash warned of a stronger Trinity, and he. The Bone Witch spoke of Trinity and the Rift, giving Rhys a scroll to his brother. The scroll led to Kaelin's journal, revealing Trinity was Elira, the Rift Bride. His doppelganger appeared, "Hello, brother," as flames erupted. What will Rhys do with the impossible knowledge of a brother he never knew? Can he trust this wild, scarred doppelganger who shares his face? And what terrifying secrets lie hidden within the heart of the Inferno, waiting to be revealed? Rhys wandered through the strange town he had stumbled into, Echo Ridge. The name sounded oddly familiar, but he couldn't place it. The streets were foggy, the houses eerily still. But it wasn't the ghostly quiet that unsettled him. It was the overwhelming sense that he'd been here before. He turned a corner and stopped dead in his tracks. There it was, a house with red shutters. He remembered it now, not as an adult, but as a child. A place he'd come to in dreams, a place that didn't exist on any map. His mother had whispered about it once in her sleep. "That's where they took him," she had said, but Rhys had never asked who they were. Inside the house, time warped. The walls were covered in faded children's drawings, all signed with a single name, Kaelin. The air was thick with memory magic. Rhys stumbled as a sharp pain lanced through his head. A voice echoed in his mind. "You weren't supposed to remember." Suddenly, Rhys was no longer in the hallway. He was 8 years old, standing outside that very same house. Snow drifted softly around him. He was barefoot, shivering, calling out for someone. "Kaelin, Kaelin, come out!" A small face appeared in the upstairs window, a boy with silver eyes, pale skin, and a sad smile. He pressed a hand to the glass, and then vanished. Rhys's childhood memories unraveled like a loose thread. There had been a boy, a brother, but everyone had told him he was imagining things. A sharp voice cut through the haze. "He was real, Rhys, and they erased him." Rhys turned to find a woman in a long gray cloak. Her face was familiar in the way dreams are, half forgotten and deeply unsettling. "They erased Kaelin, and you were next, but your wolf protected your memories. Who are you?" "A memory you buried," she said softly. "Your old caretaker, the one who tried to warn you." Rhys awoke inside the Echo Ridge house again, this time as himself. He couldn't tell if hours or days had passed. The caretaker, the woman from his childhood, now sat by the window, knitting with threads made of mist. Her name was Eleni. "You need to remember him," she said. "Kaelin, he was the first." "The first what?" "The first to be taken because of the bloodline, just like Trinity." Rhys's breath caught. "What bloodline?" "The Moonborn line, descendants of the old wolves, marked by both moonlight and memory. Kaelin had it. Trinity has it. You do too." Eleni touched his chest, right over his heart. "That's why they want her, and why you were chosen." Suddenly, the walls cracked. A deep groan echoed through the floor. Rhys stood up, heart pounding. "What's happening?" Eleni's eyes darkened. "They've found you. You need to leave. Run, Rhys. They're inside your memories now." Rhys burst out of the red-shuttered house, racing into the fog. But the fog wasn't just fog anymore. It was shifting into scenes. Fragments of his childhood played out on either side of him. His first shift, the day his mother died, a field where he and Kaelin used to hide from their father. Every memory called out to him like a haunting lullaby. He tripped and fell, scraping his palms on a gravel path. When he looked up, he saw something shining in the dirt, a small glass compass. He picked it up. It spun wildly, then pointed north. From the fog, a voice called, "It leads to what was lost." He turned and saw a younger version of himself standing in the mist. "Where are you taking me?" The boy didn't answer, only turned and began to run. Rhys followed the boy across a field until they reached a gnarled old tree, its roots like claws gripping the earth. Without hesitation, the boy crawled beneath it, disappearing into a dark hole. Rhys followed, heart hammering. He emerged into a cold earthen chamber lit by blue flame torches. Symbols covered the walls, old alpha sigils mixed with warlock glyphs. At the center was a stone pedestal. On it, a single item, a photograph. Rhys picked it up, hands trembling. It was of him and Callan, maybe 6 and 4 years old. But standing behind them, arms on their shoulders, was a face he never thought he'd see. Caleb. "You were always part of this, Reese," a voice said behind him. He turned. Caleb stood there, calm, smiling. "Welcome home." What was this home? Was it a prison? A place of dark rituals? And what role had Caleb played in Kaylin's disappearance? More importantly, could Reese trust the memories that had been so carefully guarded? Or were they now tainted by the very forces that had tried to erase them?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.
Reese uncovers a shocking truth. He has a brother, Kaylin, erased by a mysterious trinity. Led to the eerie Echo Ridge, Reese's buried childhood memories resurface, revealing Kaylin's existence and abduction tied to a moonborn bloodline he shares with Trinity. A caretaker warns of danger as Reese relives these lost moments. Following a ghostly younger self, Reese finds a hidden chamber where Caleb, a familiar face, awaits, ominously welcoming him home. What awaits Reese in this strange home? What was Caleb's role in Kaylin's disappearance? And can Reese trust his recovered memories? The chamber Trinity was kept in had no clocks, no sunlight, and no way to track the passing of time. At first, she counted heartbeats, tracked meals, and noted the frequency of footsteps outside her door. But after what could have been days, or weeks, everything blurred into an endless stretch of shadows and silence. She sat on the cold stone floor, tracing invisible lines into the dirt with her fingertip, whispering Reese's name like a prayer. Her body ached from the rough conditions, but her spirit, though bruised, remained intact. The warlocks came in shifts. Some offered her food, some tried to trick her into revealing her memories. Others, like Caleb, just watched, studied, smiled in that knowing way that made her skin crawl. "You don't even know what you are, do you?" Caleb whispered one evening. "What your bloodline can do." Trinity didn't answer. She couldn't give him what he wanted, but his words festered like poison because deep down she didn't know, and the fear of what they were using her for gnawed at her with every breath. One night the door creaked open and Trinity heard a voice, one she hadn't heard in years. "Trin." It was her mother. It wasn't possible. Trinity stood frozen, eyes locked onto the figure at the door. The woman was older, thinner, but the eyes, those deep storm gray eyes, were unmistakable. "Mom?" The woman nodded slowly. "They took me too," she said softly, stepping into the room, "a long time ago. But I couldn't find a way out." Trinity's breath caught in her throat. Was this a trick? Another illusion crafted by the warlocks? Her mother stepped closer. "They want to use us, Trin. Our blood. We're not just wolves. We're something more. Something ancient." Flashes of Reese, Juniper, her childhood, all burst behind Trinity's eyes. Her mother had always been a mystery, gone one day, vanished without a word. And now, here she was. But Trinity couldn't believe it, not fully. Not yet. Trinity reached out to touch her, and her mother's hand passed through hers like smoke. It was another warlock spell, a dream walk. Caleb had slipped into her mind again, feeding on her vulnerability, twisting her longing into illusions. Trinity screamed and lashed out, sending a pulse of raw energy through the room. The walls cracked, the air shimmered, and the illusion shattered. When she came to, Caleb stood in the corner, applauding slowly. "Very good, Trinity. You're waking up to your power. That's the first step." She glared at him. "Get out of my head." He leaned down, close enough that she could see the red veins crawling across his eyes. "It's our head now, and you'll share what's in it sooner or later." After Caleb left, Trinity found a piece of torn fabric on the floor. It wasn't hers. It smelled like juniper. The warlocks had more than one prison. Trinity had always imagined her friends out there, searching for her. But now the scent of juniper meant something more terrifying. They might be here too. She tapped into her senses, channeling what she had learned during captivity, to still her heart, to listen with her wolf, to feel vibrations through the stone beneath her feet. And she heard it. A soft thud, then another, Morse code-like tapping from somewhere below. She knelt and returned the signal. Tap, tap, tap. It could only be one person. Juniper was alive. Suddenly, the tapping stopped, and a blood-curdling scream echoed through the stone. Later that night, Trinity was dragged into a circular chamber she hadn't seen before. In the center stood a mirror, old, warped, and pulsing with an eerie violet light. Caleb gestured. "Look." Trinity stepped closer. In the reflection, she didn't see herself. She saw Reese, alone, broken, walking through the ruins of a burned forest, calling her name. Then the image shifted. Her younger self appeared, then her mother, then Caleb, standing behind them all, his eyes glowing. "This mirror shows not the present," Caleb whispered. "It shows the soul's pain. Yours is delicious." Trinity tried to turn away, but the mirror pulled at her, and in the reflection a child appeared, a boy with hair like hers, eyes like hers. She didn't know him, but somehow she did. "Who is that?" she whispered. Caleb only smiled. "That, Trinity, is a memory they tried to erase." As Caleb's chilling words echoed in the violet-tinged reflection, the true scope of the Warlock's manipulations began to dawn on Trinity. They weren't just holding her captive. They were excavating her soul piece by painful piece. But what did the Warlocks intend to do with Trinity's awakened power? What horrific fate awaited Juniper in the depths below? And who was the mysterious child in the mirror? And what devastating truth lay buried in Trinity's lost memories?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.